Hey, I'm the composer and poet Andrew Lloyd Fry, and this is the Composer's Process, episode 5. So in these videos, I'm just kind of talking about what I'm working on and ideas I'm thinking about, and as like I'm writing the pieces. So I've got some ideas for what will be the fourth piece. So episodes 1 and 2 was music for repentance, and episode 3 and 4 is music for forgiveness. I skipped the third piece, which will be about gratitude, and this one is about awe. So a sense of like wonder and kind of like the magic of life that we often ignore, and just the specialness of being a human and having our senses, and just kind of like a celebration of the created world is like what I want this piece to invoke. So a couple things. Well, first, the germ idea that started with this piece, I was looking at some Ravel music, and something he did in the left hand just kind of caught my attention. I started messing around with it, and that was like where this piece started from. So used to the idea of like starting with something else and jumping off, or even consciously like, oh, I was inspired by this piece and I wanted to make something like that. In the past, that I would have felt like that was cheating, or like I just wouldn't have felt comfortable with that. I didn't even want people to say like, oh, this kind of reminds me of that, you know? And this idea of like, I'm totally original. And I think over time that's kind of worn away, and it's just like, you can be aware of what you're borrowing from, or you can be unaware, but you're always borrowing. We're always the fruit of our influences. So this piece unashamedly started with the Ravel voicing. So, and it's not like crazy, but it just caught my attention. It's not like crazy novel or anything, but I liked it. So, let me just start with playing the thing. So this is just I'm playing this on a C major 7 chord. So a couple of things that I think are interesting about this. We go from like C to G, so we have a fifth, and then G to C, a fourth, and then from C to E, a third, and then another third, and then another third up to B, and then a second. So that's kind of interesting, and a little bit like the harmonic series, where the intervals are getting closer and closer together as you get up. And it's like a fifth, a fourth, third, second, which that's kind of interesting. I also like that this is, you could count this different ways, but I'm thinking of it as 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you do 6 or 3, a little bit of a faster tempo, it gives this like almost like floating pendulum swing flying feel that I really like, and that this creates that for me. So that's how this piece started. So then I experimented with like what could I add to it, and I'm not really feeling like I want like strong melodic material, which, interesting, a lot of this project has not been like really lyrical, strong melodic stuff. A lot of the pieces haven't been that, and then they have these sections where the melody is really prominent and really strong and really lyrical, which is kind of this like, you take it away and then it's extra sweet when it comes back. It's kind of that contrast. So yeah, I didn't really want for this part like a melody, like, you know, I didn't want to do anything like that. So kind of experimenting with some ostinatos, but the ostinatos are 5 notes. So super simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you put that over the other thing in 6. what I love about that is every time the 5 ostinato is resetting, it's at a different place in the left hand. So it's like two simple things, but it's like two simple things making a more complex thing because of their alignment is staggered. I hope that makes sense. And I think I do that a lot, where actually I just take simple things and I just like keep stacking them till it gets to something that I think is interesting enough. So, over here, this is super simple, E, G, A, B, C. So, I'm almost just like playing a scale up here. The other thing is just for variety's sake, moving it to G, G, A, B, C, E. Oops. And then you go back to the other one. Okay, so I started with that, and then I started experimenting with accents. Both hands playing accented, like at the same time. So, and this is just like another level of those like staggered relationships. So, accenting every 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So every time you accent on this 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's moving the accent 1, and then you get this kind of like counter melody. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and then I just started experimenting. Well, what if I do every 3? 1, 2, 3, 1. That kind of that's different, but kind of a same idea, but now there's like, it kind of makes more relationships. And then every 2. So kind of what I'm thinking is those accents will be there, and they'll actually go from 6 to 3 to 2, which without the tempo changing gives this feeling of acceleration. So kind of doing the thing for a while, and then the accents come in, and then that builds, and then it would go somewhere else. So the other thing about the accents, and just that I wasn't sure when I started messing around with this, is it's like, is this really the leader of time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or is this the leader, and the other one's out of sync? And I liked making 6 the dominant, as in like the 5 is the non-aligned one. That feels hard to explain, but yeah. So it's in 6, but then there's this 5 ostinato on top. So then I just experimented with like moving around the chords, and it's just like nothing was like good. It's like taking that somewhere else is like, for whatever reason, it's just like, no, that's awful. So the only thing that I liked moving my left hand around, like harmonically, was going to A minor 7, which is like almost the same chord, but with an A. And I it's almost like this C. I just never felt like I should move away from the C. So the first one, and then if I take it to an A minor, felt like right. So this piece is going to be like way more stagnant as far as like harmonic, and it's like, I have this C major 7, and occasionally I'm probably do this. So that's just putting the 9th in there. So C9, and then A minor 7, and like that's it. and just kind of keep changing some variables around. So it's like slowly changing, but really it's not. I mean, it's just kind of like we're staying in that zone the whole time, and sometimes there's an A on the bottom. Which, if we're thinking about classical music is much more about like developing and getting somewhere, and you go on this journey and then you arrive at this key change, and you know it's much more like you're leaving your house and you're walking down the street and this happens. And I really love that about classical music, and I get a little bored with lots of other music when that never happens. It's like pop music doesn't go on a journey, it always ends where it started, but at the same time, there's times where I like this sense of not journey, so like ambient music, and there's plenty of obviously examples of minimalism, where it's like, this isn't really like going anywhere. And I think there's a time and a place for both, and I try to have both of those. And this is one where it's just kind of like, we're here in this zone, and we're not going anywhere. And yeah, so a little bit different than I would say how I normally write. Normally it is like, hey, we're gonna go on this sonic journey. So let's see. I think, yeah, a couple other things is this piece is much more about, I'm trying to invoke a specific emotion, like a specific feeling. And just realizing I'm approaching this differently, because there's this very clear emotion that I am trying to feel and help this music, like I want to feel this way, I want the audience to feel this way. And I think that's just a very different, like a different goal than just, writing music. And it's like, there's a specific emotion that I'm trying to achieve. So that's one of the things that feels different about this. The other thing I'm considering doing is at the ending. So it's like the whole time we've had this like 5/6 thing going on. And at the ending, it kind of like irons out, and this hand lines up with the 6, but it's doing something else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we put that together, but this gets like up and down twice as fast as this. So again, we're like lined up, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's resetting, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's resetting. So again, we still have some like misalignment there with the cycles lining up. And one other brainstorm idea I had for this, and we'll see how much I do this, but just the idea of like accelerando, de-accelerando? That word is escaping me right now. But doing stuff. Which is just when you have any solo music, there's kind of this special opportunity to do that. And just in an ensemble setting, that's just a lot harder. So some idea of just taking advantage of the freedom I have with time when I'm playing by myself. Okay, so that's what I've got so far on this piece. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at episode 6.